Almond Breeze, I got you. That's so interesting.
What's happening, Dad?
With delicious taste and 50% more calcium. Blue Diamond Almond Breeze. Don't just milk it, almond milk it.
I can't take my eyes off my eyes.
My go-to is Lumify eye drops.
Lumify dramatically reduces redness.
In 1 minute.
And look at the difference.
My eyes look brighter and whiter.
For up to 8 hours.
It was love at first sight.
With Lumify. See for yourself.
Well, the world knows me as the queen of Twitter.
Tomorrow on ET, Dionne Warwick and her son Damon.
We are spilling the ET.
Happening now.
It was a surprising move. The 21 for 21 gun bill is now headed to the House floor. But the steep hill, it's got to climb next to become law.
It's a very active weather pattern we're in. We're on the lookout for storms later this evening and tonight, and especially beyond. I'll be back in a bit to talk about it.
It's a hot topic. Should you cook with gas or switch to an induction cooktop? Coming up, we'll explain what induction is all about and how you can tell if your current pots and pans will even work with an induction range. The news at 5 starts right now.
First at 5, a 2-year-old girl dead in what San Antonio police are investigating as a drive-by shooting. Today's fatality adding to the number of shootings involving children under the age of 2 in just the last 2 months.
Our Jonathan Cotto joining us live near the scene. Jonathan, a 2-year-old killed, a devastating afternoon unfolding in that neighborhood. Do police have any potential leads on this situation right now?
Steve, Chief William McManus says he has good information as to who the potential shooter could be, but did not disclose those details as they are actively investigating the shooting that has unfortunately left a 2-year-old baby girl dead. Now, we know San Antonio police responded to the 100 block of Future Drive around 1:30 this afternoon for reports of a drive-by shooting. Now, on your screen right now, this home riddled by bullets. Now, Chief William McManus says inside the house were 6 children between the ages of 2 to 6. Only one was shot and killed. At the moment, it isn't clear if the child lived at the home. McManus says Child Protective Services have been notified.
This is a pathetic act where no consideration was taken about who might be hurt. A 2-year-old baby who happened to be standing in front of the door was struck down.
Now, we had an opportunity to speak with neighbors, some who say they heard up to 10 gunshots. Now, an interesting detail here is there were shell casings found all along this street at a good distance from where the home is located. So it's unclear right now at what moment the shooter began to open fire. But the more important question here is why? Now, this is going to be a story that we're going to continue to follow and bring you the latest as that information is made available. Reporting from the north side, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Shame on all of you. And we won't forget, and we're not done. Do your jobs. Do something.
The last day, the last committee meeting, and an emotional last-ditch effort finally paying off for Uvalde families. With mere hours to spare, the Texas House Committee on Community Safety voted 8-5 to raise the limit to buy some semi-automatic rifles from 18 years old to 21. It's called House Bill 2744. And the families know another miracle or more may be needed, so they're going to celebrate now.
There being 8 ayes, 5 nays, and 0 present not voting, the motion prevails.
Within seconds of the committee voting to move the Raise the Age bill forward, social media lit up with messages for the children who died to make this small but important moment in the Texas legislature. The community of still mourning mothers, fathers, aunts, and uncles for those 19 children who died in Uvalde nearly exactly 1 year ago, letting out a collective "you did it" to their loved ones. Kimberly Garcia, mom of one of the victims, posting, "I will never let anyone forget you. You are making a difference, Amarie." This joy coming after what was tantamount to a public shaming directed at leaders who had failed to act on promises made a year ago to make schools safer for children.
I can't imagine how it feels to have so much power, and yet here we are on the last day still hoping you'll do the right thing. do what's right and raise the age.
What will you do for the rest of Texas? What will you do for the next community? Do you hope we just go away? Because if that's the case, you're sadly mistaken. We will be back.
The harsh condemnations to lawmakers apparently hitting their mark. Hours later, in a surprise move, the House committee that had not acted since April 18th for the Uvalde families got at least this one wish granted. State Senator Roland Gutierrez saying this will help save lives in the future. We need to see this bill passed. But Texas Capitol watchers say, don't hold your breath.
Fair to say that it is absolutely not going to happen before this regular session of the legislature is over.
And with that said, 109 bills that were pending to even get voted out of committee will likely never see the light of day. Proposed laws like outlawing large capacity magazines and stricter laws for background checks at gun shows. Their chances to even get as far as the raise the age bill, at this point, nearly impossible.
Now to other Texas families who are grieving tonight. Details still coming to light about the man who killed 8 people at a shopping mall in Allen over the weekend. The United States Army saying Mauricio Garcia, who was killed by an Allen police officer after that shooting, previously discharged in 2008 after spending 3 months in basic training. He was let go over mental health concerns. Now investigators are looking into his life, his background, investigating his online profiles, determining he may have been motivated by right-wing extremist views. Meantime, witnesses and surviving victims still recovering.
Couldn't save the second guy. The third guy actually expired while I was trying to do chest compressions. The child came out from under what I believe was the mother. It might have been a relative.
The names of the 8 people killed still being released. We know at least 2 of them are children. 6 people still in the hospital. 3 of them remain in critical condition tonight.
An Amber Alert issued out of San Antonio remains active. This is 14-year-old Jules Robinson. He was last seen on May 1st along Classen Pass. That's a neighborhood off Hardy Oak Boulevard near Hebner Road. It's believed he may be in grave danger. If you have any information about his whereabouts, you can call San Antonio Police. The phone number 210-207-7660.
He says he saw them breaking into his truck and his neighbor's vehicle early this morning. Now those 3 teenagers are in custody. It happened about 5 a.m. on Fennel Drive near Loop 410 in Vance Jackson. The man told San Antonio Police he fired a shot into the air to scare the teenagers off. While fleeing the area, 1 teen returned fire. However, no one was hurt. San Antonio Police say nothing was actually taken from the man's truck. They're still looking for 1 more person. The homeowner is not going to face charges.
Now to the final days of Title 42, the COVID-era policy that allowed the U.S. to deport most migrants during the pandemic is set to expire on Thursday. Right now, thousands of migrants are gathering at the southwest border in hopes of getting asylum in the United States. ABC's Justin Finch explains once Title 42 expires, migrants crossing illegally could face stiffer penalties.
At the U.S.-Mexico border, hundreds of migrants arriving days before Title 42 ends. ABC's Matt Rivers is there.
What do you want to do on the other side? You want to study?
The Trump-era Title 42 pandemic policy expiring Thursday allows the U.S. to immediately turn away most migrants. Now the U.S. is bracing for upwards of 10,000 daily migrant crossings, according to authorities, with many already in Mexico waiting to apply for asylum.
Across the hemisphere, we're seeing more people on the move than at any time since at least World War II.
The Biden administration is preparing, from creating additional migrant processing centers in Colombia and Guatemala to adding immigration officers and calling in 1,500 active duty troops. On Capitol Hill, bipartisan Senate support for a bill that would grant the Biden administration 2 more years of border expulsion authority, similar to Title 42, but without the health emergency mandate.
Giving us some time and space for the Biden administration to do their job, and for us legislators to actually create a plan that can get through both the House and the Senate.
In the House, members could vote Thursday on a Republican-led bill calling for more measures, including tighter asylum seeker restrictions and resuming construction on a southwest border wall. Both bills face steep odds at advancing. The White House blasting that House bill, saying it does little to address the nation's immigration and border challenges, and that President Biden would veto it. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
Meanwhile, on the border, he drove his vehicle right into the crowd. 8 counts of manslaughter and 10 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon are what he's now facing. It's what a man in Brownsville is facing in court after he plowed into a group of people at a migrant shelter, killing 8 of them, injuring 10 more. Right now, the FBI investigating whether the suspect, George Alvarez, intentionally caused the crash to target the victims because of their immigration status or if it was an accident.
Bus is in a very busy intersection, and it's just seeing one post with the sign of the bus where people need to wait for the bus standing up. Instead of being standing up, they were sitting on the edge of the road, of the sidewalk.
That crash site, the bus stop, now the scene of a memorial. Investigators say many of the victims were from Venezuela. As for Alvarez, Brownsville police say he is not cooperating. With toxicology results are pending.
They are working some sort of a scene. We don't know exactly what happened here, but you need to know that the on-ramps to I-10 at La Cantera Parkway and Camp Bullis right now are closed as well.
Yeah, avoid the area if you can. Meanwhile, let's take a look at I-37 at Cesar Chavez, right by the Alamo Dome there, and you can see traffic moving very smoothly in both directions.
And we've got the sunshine and warmth overhead right now. 90 degrees Eagle Pass and Lakey, 91 Del Rio. We did hit 90 here in San Antonio with a heat index of 96 just last hour. Mico at 91, Windcrest meanwhile at 88 degrees. We've got those dew points still around 70, so very, very sticky. As for thunderstorms, we're watching a little cluster far east of San Antonio. This is affecting LaGrange, so just outside of the KSAT 12 viewing area. But this really is a good example of what we can expect in several days to come in this active weather pattern. Notice how this storm is nearly stationary. It's barely moving. Radar estimates are 4 to 5 inches of rain just over the past basically hour and a half with that storm. What we're watching for later on tonight is development in Mexico, disturbance moving in with that. We're going to dig into the details with this and talk about our active weather pattern and when we're most likely to see the most widespread rain in just a bit.
Thank you, Adam. Still ahead at 5. What's in your kitchen as concerns over gas stoves grow? Induction quickly becoming the top alternative. But how does that work? And what do you need? Marilyn Moritz shares the benefits of induction cooking and whether the switch may be right for you.
I'm Myra Arthur here in the newsroom with a look at what's coming your way today on the news at 6 o'clock. Stop this from happening again. Plus, the latest mass shooting in Allen, Texas, stirring up the conversation again about mental health. Governor Greg Abbott claims it's access to mental health care that's at the root of this issue. At 6 o'clock, RJ Marquez talks with Bear.
It was a bold switch for Lee Brickley. Last year, this professional chef bought an induction range for her home kitchen.
I was a little nervous when they actually pulled the gas stove out and put the induction in, but I haven't looked back, and I don't miss cooking on gas at all.
So just what is induction cooking?
Induction uses an oscillating magnetic field to actually transfer energy directly from the element to the pan. The result is it's much more efficient and it heats up faster too.
And contrary to what you may have heard, you probably won't need all new cookware.
It's true that induction only works with magnetic cookware, but that really isn't as limiting as it sounds. Cast iron, most stainless steel, even an enameled cast iron Dutch oven all work.
If you're not sure, just stick a magnet on the bottom. If it sticks, it's going to work with induction. What does not work is aluminum, but anodized aluminum might.
Traditionally, anodized aluminum cookware didn't work with induction, but more and more we're seeing pieces like this that come with a special base that's induction compatible.
In Consumer Reports range tests, induction burners worked very well. Among those they recommend, this Frigidaire. It's great for low and high heat cooking, very good at baking, and it's budget friendly. If you want to start small though, there are portable induction cooktops. This one from Duxtop heats up fast, and like full-sized induction cooktops, it's easy to clean. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Taking a look outside with live cam, we've got clouds, we've got sun, and we've got chances for rain just about every day this week.
Yes, it is a very active weather pattern that we're settling into here. This is a good drought denting, and I may even venture to say drought busting weather pattern over the next 6 or 7 days. It's going to be active with bursts of energy coming overhead and moments of very heavy rainfall, but not for everybody every day. And our odds do change significantly from day to day. We'll get into that in one moment. First of all, let's talk about this evening and when we're focusing on some showers and thunderstorms in our area as we go through this evening and even into the nighttime hours. Notice very low odds here over the next couple of hours. We're talking 20 to 30% through 7 p.m. And then 10 p.m. and thereafter, we boosted up to 40% and then even up to 50% by midnight. And remember, that means about half of our area actually being affected by storms at that time. Right now, we just have this cluster of storms off to the east, severe thunderstorm for LaGrange. But I mentioned earlier, the radar estimates of rainfall from just this one storm over the past about hour and a half are nearly 5 inches here, just west of LaGrange, right along Highway 71. And it's still coming down hard. This is a good example of what we can expect going forward and how there's going to be some pretty hefty pockets of rainfall in the days ahead. Again, some days better odds than others. I'll get to that in one moment. First of all, the big picture. Look off to our west, as we often do in these patterns, and the higher terrain of Mexico helping to ignite some of these showers and thunderstorms. A lot of lightning with those as well. But we're also adding to it this little swirl in the atmosphere. If you look closely on the water vapor imagery, I isolated it right here near Big Bend, and you'll notice a little bit of a counterclockwise circulation there. That's a disturbance that's going to be drifting overhead tonight and through the day tomorrow, and that's going to give us a little extra kick for those showers and thunderstorms, some of which could be severe. Now, the severe weather risk tonight, west of San Antonio, is a 2 out of 5, so some scattered activity, large hail and straight line winds the primary threat. Also watch out for flash flooding, of course, in this situation. San Antonio and up and down on 281 here is in that 1 of 5 risk category. On a scale of 1 to 5, we're at a 1, so maybe an isolated severe storm tonight around town. So bottom line there, higher odds farther to the west tonight when it comes to severe weather. Now, look at our storm chances here just going forward. 50% again tomorrow, so some reignition tomorrow afternoon and evening. Wednesday down to 30%, Thursday 40%. We rise back to 50% on Friday. And right now, Saturday, even Friday night into Saturday, looks to be the time frame where we have the highest potential of the most widespread showers and thunderstorms and even some of the highest accumulations then. And then notice those storm chances taper off just a little bit Sunday into Monday. So what do we mean when we talk about the overall rainfall? The potential is there for widespread 3 inches plus from right now all the way through Mother's Day. You go west of San Antonio, Rock Springs, Lakey, Uvalde, Eagle Pass, Quemado, 5 to 7 inches of rain quite possible over the next 6 days or so off to the west of San Antonio. So we're looking at very good drought denting rainfall and even drought busting for some places where the showers follow each other. Tomorrow in the morning, a 30% chance. By the afternoon or midday, we're up to 50%. 83 the high temperature after a low of 70. And with these active patterns, remember, temperatures don't get out of control. So we're just going to be in the 80s all week and even near 80 this weekend.
Because he did not get one first-team vote. We're talking about Jeremy Sohan, who made the NBA All-Rookie second team, and Nikola Jokic. He will not be suspended for his little encounter with the Phoenix Suns owner last night. Coming up.
Do you worry that this may lead to a fine or suspension or anything like that?
Nuggets big man Nikola Jokic sees no problem with his interaction with the owner of the Phoenix Suns, and the NBA sort of agrees in Big Board Sports. Spurs forward Jeremy Sohan was selected in 2022-23 NBA All-Rookie second team as announced by the NBA today. Jeremy averaged 11 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 2.5 assists in 26 minutes in 56 games played. He ranked fifth among first-year players in assists with 142, while also finishing seventh in games started at 53. He led the Spurs in rebounds in 10 games, steals 11 times, and blocks in 12 contests. A native of Poland, England, he is one of 6 rookies to have at least 600 points, 200 rebounds, and 100 assists despite missing 26 games due to injury. He finished the season ranked in 8 rookie top 10 categories. So here's the rest of the NBA All-Rookie second team. Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren of the Detroit Pistons, Jabari Smith and Tari Eason, who played with the Houston Rockets, and Jeremy Sohan. Jeremy did not receive any first-place votes. In the NBA playoffs, the Suns beat the Nuggets 129-124 last night to even the series at 2 games all. But it's the incident involving Nuggets center Nikola Jokic and Suns owner Matt Ishbia that people are talking about. Less than 3 minutes left in the first half. Ishbia, sitting in the first row, gets the loose ball. Jokic tries to take the ball from him, and then Jokic shoves him a bit with his forearm. Ishbia flops back in his chair. Now, the Joker was teed up for that, and he said he's not sure why, and he doesn't feel he deserves to face punishment. Here's what the Joker said after the game.
He told me I was elbowing the fan. So, but the fan put a hand on me first, so I thought the league's supposed to protect us or whatever. So, but maybe I'm wrong. So we will see.
Did you happen to know who the fan was?
He's a fan of. He's on the. I know who is, but he's a fan, isn't he? If he's a sitting
Phoenix Suns owner.
Sitting on the courts, and he's a fan, isn't he?
Yep.
That doesn't mean that he's a. So whoever it is, and he's a fan, he cannot influence the game by holding the ball.
Nuggets will host the Suns tomorrow night at 9, and Jokic will not be suspended, but he will be fined $25,000 for the incident per the NBA, and that just came out within the last 45 minutes.
Did the owner flop a little bit?
People are out there saying
he
a little of this.
flopped, yeah. I don't know.
Where would they learn that?
No idea.
We'll be right back.
This is a graphic that you're going to see modified a little bit in the days ahead, but what it really illustrates here is elevated storm chances with some heavy rain, especially tomorrow, Friday, through the weekend as well. We'll see you back here at 6 o'clock to talk more about it and have a radar update after World News Tonight.